This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud to be the Patriot. It's a good, what the hell is it, Tuesday morning? I'm going to get a calendar one of these days, but you've heard me before. Who the hell needs a calendar? It's another day. Who gives a damn except for Friday when everybody gets paid? That's the only day we need to have on the calendar is Friday. Well, maybe Saturday, because that's when everybody goes out and gets stupid. So Friday and Saturday, the only 2 days we need on the calendar. And for you rotten bastard politicians, we don't need any days, because you screw us if it's a Monday through Sunday. You guys don't give a damn. And you guys work so hard. You ever notice these politicians? Why the hell these politicians think they have to dress nice, have to have a suit and tie on to impress somebody? You know, that's not impressing any of us, you stupid, ignorant bastards. And I want a little bit of our civic bulletin board we have to do. And then I want to get on an ignorant-looking, no-count, low-life son of a bitch. It's in the newspaper today. Our good friend, Eddie the Gerbil. I got to give him another nickname, though. I got to give him Mayor Jackson also, because I still believe that him and Senator Foghorn, I say Buckwheat Claiborne, they're running the show down in East St. Louis. It's not a Mika Jackson Hicks. It's not Eddie Jackson's daughter. And I don't want to say anything personally bad about a Mika Jackson Hicks, because I really do think she's a lovely lady. Had lunch with her a few times before the election. I really think she's a lovely lady, but I just don't think she has control of the city of East St. Louis, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's a bad thing. But let's get into our community services, and then we'll come back and talk some politics. Cosmic Bingo. All the proceeds go to Hope for Heroes. That's going to be this Saturday, June the 27th, at the Quail Club, located at 8303 Concordia Road in Belleville, Illinois. It's $25 per person. That Cosmic Bingo is really, they've got all kind of lights and neon. It's really, when they say it's not your grandma's bingo, it's really not. So for the people that want to experience this Cosmic Bingo, and they have them all over St. Clair, Madison County area, it'd be nice to get out to Concordia Church Road at the Quail Club on Saturday, June the 27th. Again, $25. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Di Scott at 618-235-0643. The Friedrich Fireworks huge 25th anniversary thank you party. It's going to be held this Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. at Three Springs Park in Shiloh, Illinois. Going to have a lot of great music. The Troubadours, Little Sister, Elvis and the Flashbacks, the Singing Sheriff, admissions free. It says here, don't forget to bring your lawn chair. They're going to have a tribute to all their military. And it's going to be a special double-shot fireworks display that says you'll have to see to believe. Plus, they're going to have great food served by Royal Catering. It's all at the Friedrichs Fireworks 25th anniversary party this Saturday, June the 27th in Shiloh. If you need any information, directions, or other concerns, you can call 888-432-1232. St. Stephen's Parish in a great little village of Caseyville, Illinois. And as always, I want to say hi to Marilyn Black, a good friend of mine, and his lovely his lovely bride, Doris. I hope they're doing well out in Caseyville. The St. Stephen's Parish all-you-can-eat chicken dinner, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, coming up again this Saturday, June the 27th, from 3 to 7 p.m. at Vote Hall on Route 157 in Caseyville. Adults $10, senior $7, children 5 to 12, $5. And I tell you, I've been out to many functions at St. Stephen's Church in Caseyville, Illinois. Barbecues, food-wise, picnics. They always put on a nice affair, and we want to salute everybody at St. Stephen's Church in Caseyville. On this date, June the 23rd, 1776, the final draft of the Declaration of Independence was submitted to Congress. On this date, June the 23rd, 1860, the United States Government Printing Office was established by an act of Congress. On this date, June the 23rd, 1860, the Secret Service was created by an act of Congress. On this date, June the 23rd, 1949, the first 12 women graduated from Harvard Medical School. On this date, June the 23rd, 1968, the Vietnam War officially became the longest war in U.S. history. On this date, June the 23rd, 1992, John Gotti, the big racketeer, was convicted of racketeering charges and sentenced in New York to life in prison. On this date, June the 23rd, 1993, John Wayne Bobbitt met his Waterloo when his wife, Lorena, amputated his male appendage and threw it away. It was later recovered by someone else who put it in ice and took it to the hospital. Well, I'm glad that Mark Sweet Cakes Kern wasn't around, because he probably would have stored it in his lips, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. That's what happened on this date, June the 23rd, throughout all these years in our world's history. Pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling, to pick up all three of our stations. You can like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM, or our sister station, the best of the golden oldies, at KZQZ 1430 AM. You can hear my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. And also, as always, I'll be broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift at the stroke of midnight every Monday through Friday. I saw this in the paper, and it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off. I'm trying to read some other crap here while I'm talking. Local Democrats say that Rauner's cuts hurt the most vulnerable. Now, see, that's what really pisses me off. These no good, no count, lousy son of a bitches. And if there was Republicans, I'd be saying the same thing about them. These Democrats have held these offices and held control of the State House in Springfield for year after year after year. And now it's all Rauner's fault that there's no money to pay the bills. And I got to say, if I thought Governor Rauner was wrong, I'd say he was wrong. I'm no shill for Rauner. I'm no shill for the Democrats. I'm a shill for the people of this great country, and I'm going to tell it the way it is. But Rauner's right on this. And guess, they've got an article in the paper, and they've got this lady, Tara Miller, talks about her four-year-old daughter, Destiny, who has autism, and she has no functional speech, as I don't. Wasn't able to say if she was hungry, if she was tired, if she was hurt. And I understand that. And a lot of things are going to get cut, and a lot of people are going to be affected by that. And my heart goes out to Tara Miller and all the people that have children that are disabled. But whenever the Democrats, and they've done this year after year, when they've squandered all the money, you know, and the analogy, you've got a drunk father and you've got kids that are hungry, and he keeps spending the money and the money and the money, and at some point in time, the mother goes to the little bank in their house, the little shelf where she's got her piggy bank, and there's no more money there. Well, hell, the kids aren't going to eat because there's no more money. It's not the mother's fault. It's not the kid's fault. It's a drunken-ass father's fault. And that's what these Democrats, they've been the drunken-ass Democrats for 15, 20 years. Now the wells run dry, and it's Rauner's fault. No, Rauner's going to make mistakes. Governor Rauner's going to make mistakes, and when he does, I'm going to talk about him. But this is not a Republican mistake. This is a Democratic mistake for all these years. And now they're trying to flip the script. So they have a lady who has a daughter who is sick and has autism. And again, I never want to make light of a child or children that are sick. But they staged this big press conference, and guess who's right in the background? Eddie the Gerbil Jackson, you no-count. What a despicable son of a bitch you are. You're in that picture, you stupid son of a bitch. Quit profiling and styling and do something for the people. But you know, they'll never call me. These no-count rotten bastards will never call me. But they're going to be there. This lady's daughter is going to be hurting. And so who's going to get the press? Claiborne, Eddie the Gerbil Jackson, Bobblehead Jay Hoffman. These son of a bitches, how nasty and how rotten can these no-good son of a bitches be? You big-head, dumbass bastards, all of you, sitting there getting your picture in the paper, styling and profiling. Hey, Jackson, Hoffman, Claiborne, all you rotten bastards, take some money out of your pocket. Take some money that the state's giving you, that we as taxpayers are giving you, that $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year for a part-time position. Take some of that money. You guys never want to. The only time you put your hands in your pockets is to play with yourself. Any other time, your hand's in everybody else's pocket, and maybe sometime it's a play with them. You no-count rotten bastards, but here's all the Democrats. You got Hoffman, Eddie Lee Jackson, State Senator Bill Hayne, who I think's a decent guy, but he's wrong on this one. And then the illustrious Senator Foghorn, I say, Buckwheat Claiborne. They want to discuss the effects that the state's proposed budget cuts will have on families. Well, hell yeah, why didn't you ignorant, stupid son of a bitches think about that 10, 15 years ago? And then this idiot, I guess it's Claiborne. What a stupid idiot. And I want to talk to him about some other crap he pulled. Claiborne says government is about compromise. You no good son of a bitch, you stupid idiot bastard. What do you mean compromise? You haven't been compromising with the Republicans for all these years that the Democrats have had control of the State House and the State Senate. Don't tell me about compromise, you hypocritical no-count. And Claiborne, give me a call. And I made a mistake yesterday. It's not 901 Hickory Lake in Belleville. It's 109 Hickory Lake. Drive by and see that $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 house that this poor black man has, with the $700,000, $900,000 the poor people of East St. Louis paid him last year for legal fees. And if that don't piss you people off down there, then something ain't right. Your head must be as numb and as dumb as Claiborne's. But they're going to sit there. Here's a poor lady whose child is going to want for some things with the budget cuts. But they all going to get their picture in the paper. And this Eddie the Gerbil Jackson. Eddie, you better get your ass back to East St. Louis and run that town, because your daughter, Amika Topeka, I have to come up with a nickname for her. She works for the state with a job I bet. Eddie Lee Jackson got for her, I bet you. Her daddy got her that job, that $75,000 a year job with the Capital Development Agency out of Springfield. I guarantee you, I'll give you 20-1 odds. But when these rotten bastards, when they go on a photo shoot and they're behind the lady that's 4-year-old daughter is sick and needs treatment, how egregious is that? You know, it's like the bastards that go at Christmas. You'll see them coming up at Thanksgiving and Christmas. All these son of a bitches will go for the photo shoot. Claiborne, Jackson, Hoffman, all these no good sons, Kern, Sprague. When the photographer's there for the newspaper, they'll lift up that fork and put a piece of turkey on some poor man's plate or poor lady's plate or poor child's plate. But then as soon as the cameras go, guess what? They're out the door. And everybody knows that. It's always about a photo shoot. But for the Democrats, and especially, now they're all ganging up on Governor Rauner, and Governor Rauner's people are out there. I wish, and I'm going to defend him when I think he's right, but he needs to defend himself. Some of you guys need to have Rauner give me a call so he can defend himself. I know Charlie Myers is out there somewhere, and Charlie, if you are, I'd appreciate a call from you. You're quoted in here. But see, Charlie, he'll always call back. Dwight K. out of Glen Carbon, another Republican. And I'm not shilling for these guys because they're Republicans. I'm shilling for them because they're public servants. They're decent people. But Charlie Myers says in a press conference held throughout the state by my Democratic colleagues discussing proposed budget cuts is pure hogwash, said State Representative Charlie Myers. My Democrat colleagues control the budget process in Springfield. What a great quote, Charlie. You're right. But they're bitching about what's going on. They should have been bitching about it 10, 15, 20 years ago. But it's amazing. It's amazing. It says Mike Madigan, the House Speaker, along with his allies, Hoffman, Jackson, Claiborne, are more interested in protecting the political class rather than fighting for the middle class. And that's a fact. These guys don't give a damn about me. They don't give a damn about you. They're all positioning themselves for the next election. It's a perpetual cycle, a political perpetual cycle. Get elected, run again, get elected, run again, build your pension, build your seniority so you get more pension. You guys, you rotten, no good, big head son of a bitches, and you're going to use a poor lady's daughter's sickness to benefit politically. What no good son of a bitches you are. And Claiborne, the senator, and Eddie the Gerbil Jackson and bobblehead Jay Hoffman, you guys aren't right. You know what? I'll have to say this, and I've talked good about young Jerry Costello, and I say young. He's not young, but he's Jerry Costello Sr.'s son. Not a bad guy. He just never has the guts to give me a call. I guess he doesn't think it's politically correct to call Bob Romanik to be on the Grim Reaper show, and I think just the opposite. I thought young Jerry Costello II was a man that would stand tall. But I have to compliment him. He's not in this photo shoot, and he could have been. He's not in this photo shoot. And I know he's a Democrat, but I think Jerry Costello II leans more towards a Republican persuasion. And if I'm wrong, somebody that I don't think Jerry will call me, and I don't think it's because he doesn't like me. I think because somebody's told him it's not politically correct to call Bob Romanik. But I'll tell you, Jerry Costello II, state representative, yes, it out of Smithton, yes, it is politically correct, because with the listening audience I have, the huge listening audience I have, you'd get out to all those people. It's not about me. It's about transparency that these politicians should give us, but they never do. Charlie Myers, if you're around, we'll try to get a hold of you too, because I think it's egregious when these rotten bastards will take a cause like people with autism, and they're going to lose some funding, as everybody else and every other organization in the state of Illinois. You have to cut back on everything. But they're going to make this a big photo shoot. I didn't see you guys. And Charlie, I hope you do call me. If somebody knows Charlie, have them give me a call. There wasn't all this big crap. I didn't see everybody rallying around the Murray Center. I didn't see you Democrats. You rotten no-count. I just thought about that. You rotten no-count bastards. Quinn was going to shut down the Murray Center. Now, I know this lady and her daughter, she has autism, but you go out there to the Murray Center, you no good hypocritical bastards. During your break, I'm going to try to get a hold of Charlie Myers. I just thought about that. Charlie Myers has been fighting to keep the Murray Center in Centralia open forever. The Democrats were ready to shut it down. You remember that a few months back. Quinn and the Democrats were getting ready to shut it down. You go out there and you walk, and I've been there and done that. You go there and you walk through the Murray Center and you see those poor, they're not poor, they're just less fortunate than we are. And they were going to shut that down, the Democrats, but now all of a sudden, Rauner's wrong for trying to balance the budget. What a bunch of hypocritical, no-count, low-life son of a bitches you are. We're going to take a break. We're going to try to get a hold of Charlie Myers. We'll be right back. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud to be The Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio. You're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom and proud to be your First Amendment and all-American station, Radical Radio, and we are the Patriot. I just had a call from my good buddy Rick. He called and said, Bob, you know they're not going to call you, these politicians. He said they're probably trying to dial a phone with their penises, and their penises are so small they can't reach the phone, can't reach the dial or the numbers. And so then that's probably the reason, Rick. So I want to apologize to all you politicians. I know that you're so inadequate you can't get to a phone, or you would. Are you crazy? You son of a bitches would never get to the phone. You need to take your penises. Never mind. You need to. I can't go there. The mayor, you know, I talked about the story yesterday. The newspaper picked up, and I have to say, George Palazic from the Belleville News Democrat, what a heck of a good article. The gentleman, the reporter for the News Democrat, George Palazic, a great article. Front page, top fold, Cahokia mayor orders food pantry to vacate building. Now, that's what you got to do. That's how you win friends and influence people and get reelected, you stupid son of a bitch, Curtis McCall Jr. And when I say Curtis McCall Jr., I got to throw Curtis McCall Sr. in there because he's a no-good, ignorant bastard. He's like Eddie the Gerbil. He's running the show in Cahokia. It's not Curtis McCall Jr. Curtis McCall Jr. sits there like the dumbass son of a bitch he is, and doesn't do anything. He lets his father run the show. Now, you people elected Curtis McCall Sr., in essence, to the mayor of Cahokia. Now, this is just a prelude as to what's going to go on for the next 4 years in Cahokia. You people in Cahokia, I got to tell you, a lot of great people, but you better start getting ready to move out of Cahokia, because it's not going to get any better. It's going to get continually worse and worse and worse. But I talked about it yesterday, and George Palazic, again, a great article, talked about it today. There's a food pantry that's been around for 30 years. Now, this lady, a nice lady, her name is Christina Walker. She's been handling the food pantry in Cahokia, and it services everybody in St. Clair County. And she ran, and I didn't know this, but she ran for position on School District 187 in Cahokia. And she lost, and that's okay. That's okay. She lost. But now the Curtis McCall team is going to punish her. No, you didn't punish her, the McCall team. You punished all the people that are hungry. They're going to go to bed hungry tomorrow because there's no food in the Cahokia food pantry. You no-count son of a bitches. And the newspaper reporter George Palazic, talked with a lady, Janice, at the mayor's office, and she says, we will have no comment. And she says the food pantry is not shut down. It's under reconstruction. She said, before declining to explain what reconstruction meant. Hey, you stupid idiot bitch, too, this Janice. Hey, it may be under reconstruction, but people are not going to eat this week and next week and the following week because of the McCall team, because of Curtis McCall Jr. and Curtis McCall Sr. This Christina Walker made all of $12 an hour for part-time work. $12 an hour for part-time work. And Curtis McCall Jr. and Sr., and in my opinion, it is a political payback. What no good. Hey, Curtis McCall Jr. and Sr., if you're going to play politics, you rotten bastards. But don't play politics at the expense of the poor people who aren't eating. You rotten bastards, Curtis McCall Sr., you've ate good your whole life. They've taken care of you politically from the sheriff on up and down. And your son has been taken care of by you and God Sprague, your daddy, your white boy daddy. There's a lot of poor people out there, Curtis McCall, black, white, men, women, children. You hear me? Children. And you no good son of a bitches have shut it down. And they didn't even have the guts. They sent a policeman with a letter to this Christina Walker, the director of the Cahokia Community Food Basket, telling her she's going to have to leave. And it was signed by, guess who? Not President Barack Obama, but President Curtis McCall. President my ass. You can stick your president up your ass, and I've got something I'd stick up there. President my ass. But they passed out over 384,000 pounds of food since January, people. And the area manager of the St. Louis Food Bank praised Christina Walker for the great job she has done, said she received glowing performance reports during her tenure as director for the Cahokia Food Pantry. And this gentleman says they're going to try to get Christina Walker another place so she can help the poor people and feed the poor people. Curtis McCall, Jr. and Sr. Why don't everybody go to Curtis McCall's office this week? Go to the City Hall in Cahokia. Go to the Centerville Township in Allerton. See if these rotten bastards will pull money out of their pocket. They've never missed a meal. Hey, McCalls, I've missed plenty of meals coming up. And it ain't pretty. And you no good, no count, rotten black bastards. And if you were white, I'd call you white rotten bastards. What kind of crap is this? You're going to play politics? They served over 1,200 families a month. Over 1,200 families per month. Curtis McCall, those are 1,200 families that aren't going to eat this week because of you stupid, no-count, rotten bastard. They'll have no food to give away. They had to give it all to other food pantries, I guess, in the St. Louis area. But the people that are used to coming to Cahokia Community Basket to get their food, guess what? Not going to get it. Not going to get it at all. This one lady says, there's 5 in my family, and we depend on the pantry to eat. She says she fears family members may go hungry without the food items passed out weekly. And you know what? I feel sorry for that lady. I wish I had enough money. I'd feed everybody. This is a great United States of America, and our people are starving, and we're proud of that. And then we get a no-count, rotten, no-good son of a bitch like Curtis McCall Jr. and Curtis McCall Sr. and going to take the food out of people's mouths because they don't like the director of the food pantry, the director that got overwhelming support and accolades from the general regional manager of the big food pantries. What the hell's wrong with you, McCall? What the hell's wrong? Poor people, black, white, your people. And I don't mean black and white, your people in Centerville Township, your people in Cahokia are suffering because of you, because of your inept political stupid moves you make. And again, people, that's just the start. That's just the start. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get a lot worse. I think everyone, and I don't have the number to the Cahokia mayor's office, I think everyone needs to call the Cahokia mayor's office or call that idiot out there that calls himself the Centerville Township supervisor. That number is 874-1034. That's 874-1034. And call Curtis McCall Sr. and tell him what a rotten, no-count, lousy bastard that you people think he is. And he is, and so is his son. The poor people aren't going to eat. They're not going to eat because of the Curtis McCall team, because they want to play politics. So they're going to take food out of everyone's mouth. It's unbelievable. Curtis McCall, I can't believe. I know you're a low-life piece of crap, but I can't believe you do this to all the people that are depending on that, Curtis McCall. You know, McCall, you can take that big money you're making. You can take the township car that the hardworking taxpaying people of Centerville Township pay you to drive around. You can go to the tavern. You can have you a beer. You can have you a sandwich because you've got the money. You big head bastards, you're never going to miss a meal. And that stupid-ass son of yours, you need to lock him in a room somewhere because he's dangerous, politically, of course. Lock him in a political... Now, don't lock him in a political room because that'll hurt everybody. But Curtis McCall, I want to salute you for being the most rotten, asinine, no good, self-centered, thoughtless son of a bitch I've ever run into. You can do a lot of things, Curtis McCall Jr. and Curtis McCall Sr., but what you can't do, what I won't allow you to do, and I hope what everybody else won't allow you to do, is take food out of hungry people's mouths. Do you people understand that he's played politics? 1,200 people a month get fed by this food pantry. Curtis McCall Jr. and Curtis McCall Sr. has disrupted the whole operation. What no good, rotten son of a bitches they are. And at the end of the day, Curtis McCall Jr. and Sr., you're going to have to answer. I don't know if it's going to be to a higher power, as everyone says, but you're going to have to answer to your constituents. And I think at the end of the day, your constituents aren't going to be happy. They're not going to be happy, Curtis McCall. 874-1034. That's the Centerville Township number. Find the number for the mayor's office in Cahokia. If somebody knows to give us a call, we'll try to find it during break. I wouldn't let this crap go, people. I don't give a damn if you live in Belleville. I don't give a damn where you live. You know, when you go home, there's going to be food in your pantry. There's going to be food in your icebox. I've been home many a days in the Roosevelt homes where I opened the icebox. There was food. There was milk and water. That's the food we had. And you no good, no count, rotten bastard, Curtis McCall, you're going to take 1,200 people's food away, 1,200 families, because you're mad at the director of the food pantry because she had the audacity to run for office. You had the audacity to run for office, didn't you, Curtis McCall? You didn't want to be punished or penalized when you ran for office. Who the hell do you think you are, Curtis McCall? And I know you're going to be with God Sprague and the rotten bastards, the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, come the 16 county elections. And I hope all you good people, not just who are affected by the lack of food, but all you decent people all throughout this listening audience, understand what's going on. These no good son of a bitches aren't good for anybody. And you know how we pay them back. We pay them back in 2016 by running their stinky, rotten, worthless, no good son of a bitchin' asses out of office. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud to be the Patriot. I want to thank a taxpayer. He or she always sends me a lot of good information, and they talked about the food pantry. And you remember yesterday that one ignorant bitch shill for the McCall said she got some bad food. Well, it got a 100% rating from the East Side Health District, and taxpayer says in regards to the call on expired food at the food pantry, no, not from there, where they get their supplies from. I can personally vouch for the distribution's arm operation, and the story in Tuesday's Belleville News Democrat backs up the manager. There's no bad food, but see, that's one of Curtis McCall's shills with all that crap. We got a caller on the phone with me. On the phone with me is a good friend of mine, Dan Fuller. He's the owner of Ad Unity Media. Dan, how the hell you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bob, I tell you what, you got me fired up today, Bob. Thanks for keeping it 100% real.
Well, thank you, sir. What's going on in your world, Dan?
Well, you got me fired up, and you know you can't eat if you're dead, and I'm sick and I can't stand it anymore, the killing and stabbing and misery. So AdUnityMedia.com and Drawcast.com, a social drawing app, hosted a Stop the Violence, Put Down the Pistol, and a Community Unity Racial Healing Billboard Design Contest.
And where's this? How can we get a hold of you, Dan, or get a hold of somebody for any of this? Is this for the youth of the community?
Well, it's for everybody to put down the pistol, stop the violence, and start helping your neighbor out. Because, like I said, you can't eat if you're dead. And there was 11 shootings and 6 killings in the last 5 days. Isn't anybody else sick of that?
You know, Dan, I think everybody is. I know you've got a billboard company all throughout St. Louis and in the Illinois side. How do people get, again? Give us your website address where people can get involved. Maybe if they're interested in getting some billboards of their own for advertising, or to get involved in this Stop the Violence campaign, this great Stop the Violence campaign of yours.
Well, sure, Bob. I tell you what, we actually had 350 submissions on Drawcast, the social media app, and the winners were extraordinary. One of them says, put down the pistol, spill paint, not blood, and it has flowers coming out of the pistol. And you can see the winners at adunitymedia.com, ADUNITY media.com. Click on the fundraiser, and for a donation for every $175 we receive from people, we will print another one of the posters of their choice. They can indicate whether it's racial unity, understanding, or anti-bullying, or put down the pistol. They're all 6 there. And I tell you, I want to put hundreds of these up because, you know, everybody doesn't look at cable. Everybody, sadly to say, doesn't listen to Bob Romanik, even though they should.
Well, thank you.
But everybody sees billboards when they're driving around.
Yeah.
You can get your message right down on the street level where people can see it, understand it, and change their ways and help out instead of hurt.
Dan Fuller, we appreciate the information. You stay in touch. One more time, Dan, how do they get a hold of you or get a hold of the Ad Unity Media information?
It's easy. Go straight to adunitymedia.com, look at the pages, click on fundraiser, look at the great posters, and I want to post 100 of them. So I need everybody to go there right now and $5, $10, $15, $20, and we will post the poster. And one more thing, I want to thank you so much for starting the Freedom Coalition. It's gaining steam, and I just want to support that.
Dan Fuller, thank you very much. Dan Fuller from adunitymedia.com. He's the one, he's got all the billboards. His father, a great man. I remember him back in the day. It was Fuller Billboard Company. They've changed the name. But a great man, a great organization, and a great cause. Dan, thank you very much. I got to say, and it's going to probably piss some people. First, I want to say that we exposed that crap up in Grafton, and I had one of the older ladies call me, tell me she's going to do this and do that. And, you know, I just think she's a little frustrated, but they tell me from good sources that that's not going to fly up in Grafton. So you good people in Grafton will still have fairly low property tax because the businesses will be helping to support all the services in Grafton. So I'm glad everybody got behind the business people up there. Great town, great community. And again, want to put a shout out to a great mayor, Mayor Tom Thompson from Grafton, and also Chris Sullivan, the chief of police the chief of police in Grafton, for a job well done. You guys keep up the good work. You know, we talk about racism all the time, and you hear my promo coming in that if you're offended by anything to do with race, religion, anything to do, if you're offended by someone breathing, you better shut it off. And here's a time where you just may, because number one, this Confederate flag situation. I saw a proud black man on CNN last night. He's an educated guy. I think he was a professor. And he said, you know, I don't know who he was talking to, but he said, you know what? That offends me, the Confederate flag. But I support their right to fly it because this is America. You know, the guy, what a great, proud American who just happens to be black. I don't agree with the Confederacy. I wasn't for the Confederacy. I wasn't even around. None of us were around. I don't agree what they stood for, what they fought for. I think everybody should be free. I want to be free, and if I want to be free, everybody should be free. But now they want to talk about, and it's just a political corrupt crap. This guy killed, this white guy killed 7, 8, 9 people in South Carolina in a church, and they were all black. And there's some place in the article where it says that this guy had on a shirt or had on a symbol of the Confederate flag. And because of that, because of the symbol he had on, and he killed people because he was a no good, ignorant, white son of a bitch. And he probably was a racist. But you know what? There's racism on both sides. I don't want to hear when you say racism, it's just white on black. It's black on white, too. There's enough black on white crime as there is white on black crime. So, and I'm a proud white man, and I don't want to offend my proud black friends. But it's true. It's what it is. We have to face reality. This political correct crap is going by the wayside. But for them to say, oh, now we need to get rid of the flag because this guy had a flag on his shirt or he had something to do with the Confederate flag, and now all of a sudden time has come to remove the flag? This is America. I can fly. If I want to fly, I can fly a Nazi flag. I see guys with Nazi with swastikas all over them. I see them with Nazi flags in their basement. You know, I've been to a basement when I was a policeman and saw a Nazi flag. I didn't say anything because, you know, that man had the right to express his opinion, his beliefs. We take his right away. My rights, your rights are coming next. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off that somebody's going to say, oh, that Confederate flag had something to do with that killing, with those killings in South Carolina. Are you guys crazy? They want to protest the presence. Now here, there's a lot of people whose family members died in the Confederate Army. Now they were fighting because they were Confederate soldiers. They were fighting because their political leaders, their politicians told them to go out there and fight. They weren't so much, and I don't believe they were all fighting for the cause of black and white. You use that black and white for political purposes. You use financial reasons for political purposes. But I just say that I think it's atrocious that they're going to stop flying the Confederate flag. There's a lot of people in South Carolina that come up under the Confederacy. Their grandfathers may have fought in the war. If somebody wants to fly a flag, let them fly a flag. This is America. This is, and what I said yesterday by Voltaire. He said, I may not agree with what you say, but I'll defend to my death your right to say it. People, you know what? Freedom is not always free, as the cliche always goes, and it's not. And freedom is hard to obtain, but once we obtain it, once you get your body in shape, you have to keep exercising to keep your body in shape. And that's what we have to do. We have to keep exercising our rights, our freedoms as Americans. And if somebody wants to fly, and I'm not for I've never had a Confederate flag, don't care to have a Confederate flag on my hat. But if the jerk next to me wants to have a Confederate flag on his hat or up his ass, he should be able to do it because this is America. Again, if we can fly a Nazi flag, they killed a lot of blacks in the Confederacy. That's true, and that was wrong. But they killed a lot of Jewish people in World War II. They killed a lot of Jewish people, but you can still fly a Nazi flag if you want to fly it. Why would you? I have no idea, but you can because of our great country. Our great country. And I see in the paper, and I'm probably going to get some, I don't give a damn getting flack. I'm going to read what was said in the paper. This is from President Obama. And again, this racial situation, it's black and white and black. There's a lot of black racism going on to the white community, just as there is white racism going on in the black community. Now, I know this white guy said that. Yes, this white guy said that because there is. The white people will agree with me, and the blacks, the proud blacks, will agree with me. And it says here, and I quote, it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say nigger in public, Obama said. This is President Obama. He used the N-word. I just used the N-word. Is the world going to come to an end? I don't think so. And it's not right. It's not a word that anybody should use, but people use it all the time. I can hear cracker every day. I hear hunky every day. Doesn't change my life. Now, if I want to fight the black guy who'd call me a hunky, that gives me a reason. but it's not really a reason. It's a word, people. But I say that to finish up by saying these racial matters are matters of importance. But let's don't cloud them with a flag situation or using the N-word situation. Let's get down to the basics. Let's get down to the problems we're having. There's a lot of black-on-black crime. There's a lot of black-on-white crime. There's white-on-black crime. And a lot of times it's racial on both ends. You think if a black guy goes out and shoots a couple white guys, you don't think it was racially motivated? Guarantee you it was. And if you think a white guy goes out and kills 7, 8, 9 poor people who were in church, proud black people in church, that's racist? Sure it is. But that's just a no-good son of a bitch who happens to be white. So let's don't wrap racism around every situation, whether it's a black-on-black crime or a white-on-black or a black-on-white. It's always easy to throw that racism out there. There's racial problems. We've addressed them the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And I think it's getting better on both sides. But there's the race baiters, some black, some white, who make their living by race baiting. They never want to see the proud whites and the proud blacks get together. And I say to everybody, this is the great United States of America. Let's don't take anybody's rights away because we don't want our rights taken away. Now, if you fly the Confederate flag and a black man dies because of it, then take that son of a bitch down and never put it up again. But if you fly that flag and it pisses off a black man, or you fly the Nazi flag and it pisses off me, then so be it. That's what this country's about, freedoms. And we have to take the freedoms and we have to live with the freedoms of our enemies, the people we don't like, because they have the same freedoms we do. And again, if they take the freedom from them, then they'll take the freedom from us. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest. And we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be all over any situation, racial, religious, political, life's problems. That's what we're about. We're about confronting the problems, solving the problems, and then the most important, moving on to make our lives better, our families' lives better. But before we do that, there's a roadblock. There's a roadblock up ahead, and it's called politicians. We don't go around the roadblock. It takes too long. We're going to go through the roadblock. We're going to knock the roadblock down and take our path to the state houses, to the courthouses of all the counties in this great country. And we're going to change the political corruption, the culture of corruption. We're going to change the dynamics of politics. We're going to take it out of the politicians' hands and put it back in the we the people's hands. And we can do that by uniting, exposing, dragging these no-count political, parasitical, perverted punk bitches. And then you know as well as I do what we have to do. We have to destroy these son of a bitches for a better way of life. These political bastards. Destroy them politically, of course. Right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ, St. Louis.